Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm your host, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And for this episode, we're going to be talking about my battle vest for the 2024 Headbangers Boat.
Yes.
Did one of these last year, made a vest for it, as well as a video for it, talking about it. That's up here somewhere. Might link it, might not, but it's on our YouTube page and whatnot. So just going to talk about this real quickly. If you didn't join us for that last episode, the origin of this sort of came out of that chemist show we saw with Mother Graves, Conjurer, and Wake. We were standing there in the audience, and there was a kid who had a vest on, or a guy who had a vest on, that had the 70,000 tons patch. So we talked to him a little bit, said, hey, we're going on our first cruise later this year. We're super excited. Just talking to him about the whole experience. He said they were fucking awesome. Definitely do the cruises. He loved it. And then we were talking about, like, it would have been really, really cool if all of those patches on his vest were bands on that ship. Pretty sure they weren't, because I think he had like a Sabbath or a Metallica patch
I think
on.
it was just a normal vest. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool still. But if he did do all of them, that'd be even cooler. But if he did, he should have done like a orange vest for like a life vest, because those are all oranges.
Yeah.
So that's what he should have done, and that's where he got the idea. Like, well, that's what I'm going to do. Since I'm going on a boat, I'll do that.
Safety first.
Right. So that's sort of the origin of why orange and the patches that are on this particular vest. And it's following a similar structure to last year's vest too, where the back patch is going to be reserved for Lamb of God. It's their boat. They're headlining it. It's their vest. The back patch to me is the most important patch. It's the biggest. So boom, Lamb of God. So this time I wanted this one. I saw somebody else wearing a patch like this, or I saw it when I was looking for last year's vest. I saw this. But I got the Ashes of the Wake back patch last year because it was for that.
But you didn't know at that time that you got Ashes of the Wake that they were going to play Ashes in the Wake in full last year.
No, I did. I did know that.
Oh, I thought that you got that and then it's like, oh, cool. I already have that back patch.
No, I got it because it's my favorite album and
okay. Sorry.
And then sort of the second headliner gets the next best spot for me anyway, is that like the shoulder blade thing. So Deathclock, and I knew they had this logo patch out there on the internet somewhere. So I got that one for this. Both of these I just found by Googling them and selecting like this. I knew I want this, so I'm going to get it. They're not official. They're not from the band's website or anything. So that kind of sucked. I'd rather support the band by doing that, but I knew I wanted this style and these looks. So that's why I picked those. What, though, I typically try to do is when the lineup's announced, I'll go to the band's website and I'll find a patch on that band's website and buy it from the band directly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like to do anyway. So this year I did COC, that little skull thing they have there, or their logo and whatnot, Corrosion of Conformity. I was able to get that from their website. I Hate God had a bunch of patches. This was the favorite one that we had on there with like green border and whatnot. So I got that from their website. And I think Frozen Soul was the last one that I got from a website, from the band's direct website. Next, what I like to do then is go to, I found a website, Pull the Plug Patches, and they support, like, they give royalties to the bands and everything, so I try to buy from them next, is where I go. So, At the Gates, I bought from them, the one that's on here. Napalm Death, I was able to get from them. Exodus, I was able to get from them, and I think that might have been it, honestly. Oh, and the Lamb of God one on the front up here. So it's the Lamb of God boat. They're presenting it. So if they ever don't headline, they will always be represented by having this sort of front pocket, above the pocket sort of thing on the left breast. Which also in the front I did this year, and I had it last year, but I did it after the boat. I did the year in Roman numerals, just below that. And then on the other side, I had the logo from last year that I was able to patch on there. And then also just wrapping up the front, the collar also has sort of two buttons this year. Last year was one, I think it was Disco Sucks, which I got on the boat. So I got that and popped that on there. This year it's a Milwaukee Metal Festival circle one. We got that at Milwaukee Metal Festival, one of the packages we got. So when I got home, it's like, I don't know where the fuck to put this. The vest was sort of hanging on my door while I was waiting to sort of finish it up and build it. Because I would tack the things on there with like the little pins and whatnot. Waiting to get all the patches and figure out where I want everything to be. So I just threw that one on there. The other side is a Vote patch or pin. which I got at a goose show.
Okay. I wondered where you got that.
Yeah, they gave it away for free, I think. I think they gave the vote pins away, and then they were giving away a free poster signed by the band at the end of the tour if you registered to vote or showed you were registered to vote. And I was like, that's fucking easy. I'm already registered to vote. I'll do that. And I got the free pin out of it. It glows in the dark. Cool, I'm doing that. And this year, 2024, is an election year. Yeah. So it's like, it's the election year boat, I guess. I don't know. Nobody talked about politics or anything like that, which was awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
It was just sort of a nod to like, that's the year we're in. So, and it was at a concert. I got the pin. I didn't know what to do with it. I had the vest sort of up there on my wall or door. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do that. Then we have the Soulfine Platch, After the Burial, Bleeding Through, Currents, and Unearth, and Poison the Well, and Chimera. Those were all sort of, I couldn't find it on their website. I couldn't find those patches on Pull the Plug patches. So I just typed in the band name, and I found my favorite looking patch and whatever website it was I bought from there.
Yeah.
A lot of them came from Europe somewhere. I can't remember where.
Ukraine?
I don't think so.
Oh, it wasn't Ukraine?
I can't remember exactly where, but a lot of them came from overseas. We'll get to the Unity, Texas last. The other one we have just sort of at the gates, sort of like right below or kind of covering it up a little bit, is Carcass. And that's because after At the Gates dropped out or couldn't make the boat, Carcass was announced. It's like, all right, they were supposed to be on here. The patch will still go on. So we'll throw Carcass just over it. The Carcass patch, same thing happened last year, I think, with Malevolence. I bought the Carcass patch from Pull the Plug patches. And they shipped it. And I got the tracking. I'm following the tracking. And this time it made it to Chicago, somewhere in Chicago. And it's coming from overseas as well. It's going through customs. Malevolence, I think, is in New York or New Jersey going through customs. And it just stops. Tracking stops.
Yep.
And I was like, what the fuck? They must have lost it.
I'm sure. Because it's probably in like a really thin like envelope thing.
Yeah. I can still go in there and like click the tracking, I think, on both of these. And it pops up with just like, it's in Chicago. Like, we're waiting to process it and whatnot. And it's been that way since the fucking middle of July. So it's like...
Well, Malevolence is from last year. So.
Last year, around July as well. So they're both in that July frame. So I just need to avoid shipping patches in July, basically. So I didn't go back through Pull the Plug, not because I don't like their shipping or anything like that, or it worried me. Just more of, I need to get this quicker, and their shipping can be slow sometimes, and I need to get this done, like, soon. So I just... found the Carcass one online too, just by Googling it and whatnot. Sewing these on, I did the same thing I did last year. I'd use the glue, like get them in place, and then I sewed them on individually. I also did a video of me just I recorded myself putting all these patches on. I might try to build like a quick little montage type thing.
Yeah.
And throw that up here eventually as well, but we'll see.
It might be a short. We might do a short out of it. Yeah.
So as soon as we got back from the boat last year, I started buying everything to get this. The vest is from just Amazon. It was like $35.
It's like $35 or $32 or something, and it's like a men's, which I don't know if it's really a men's, but it comes with sleeves. It's like a jacket, and then we just cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, cut the sleeves off. Pull the Plug patches, where I get patches, also has vests. They have an orange one now, but when I bought this, they didn't have an orange one. I might pick that up next year for next year's
and try that
vest.
one out. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be orange. The thing I like about that is it seems like these front breast pockets open for theirs. This one doesn't. These are all for show, which is really kind of annoying. But it does get the aesthetic of what I wanted to do. And yeah, so like I said, I bought this last year as soon as we got back from the boat, started buying the pieces for it. I haven't done it just yet, but I've started to like search out what I want to get for next year. So the process has started for next year's vest for sure. But then they announced the theme nights, and one of them was the Battle Vest contest, which I was like, ooh, fuck, should I enter that? Like, I'm making the vest for the boat, might as well enter it. So I did. I was not selected to partake in that particular contest.
Because it was like it was like you have to enter before the boat. They were going to select people to actually be in the contest, and then they'll judge on the boat.
Yep.
The final people.
Which, when I got the email saying, like, you were not selected to be even in the contest, I was like, oh, fuck. I was a little bit disappointed when I first read that. But then I just reminded myself, like, I made the vest for the boat, not for the contest.
Right, exactly.
It's what I did last year. It's what I did this year. It's what I'm going to do next year. Is I'm going to follow the same sort of pattern and outline of how I build this vest. And fuck it. Like, I'm still going to wear it every single day. And I did. Like, I wore it onto the boat, and every single day I was there. Did not wear it that last day at all because we're leaving the boat.
Oh, yeah. You had it packed up. Yeah.
So, I'll do the same thing next year. And just like last year's boat, if I see any of these bands live outside of the boat, I'll wear it then. Until then, it's going to sit in the closet and just sort of hang there until I go to see one of these bands again live. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this together. I think I gave my index finger on my dominant hand here a little bit of arthritis because it still hurts today if I like push on the knuckle just right. But I don't know. It was still a blast, still fun. I'm super, super excited to start building next year, so I can't wait for that.
That's good. You have one more patch that you need to talk about the story.
Oh shit! Unity, Texas. Fuck, I completely forgot about it. Yeah. So they're a newer band, I assume.
Possibly.
And their website does not have patches. They have some merch, some shirts. They had a hat, but no patches. All right, cool. So I Googled it, and nothing showed up. And the same thing happened last year for like Dying Wish and one other band. I can't remember who it was. So I found an Etsy page where you can just type in a name you want, and they'll send you a patch with the name. So that was my default last year, and I was like, that's going to be my default this year for Unity. But I kind of would be awesome not to do that this year. So I asked my mom, like, she's pretty crafty. She likes to make craft sheets. She sends us like door wreaths all the time.
Oh yeah.
And we change them out all the time. So our front door will have this like for not Thanksgiving. Valentine's Day has like this pink heart with like glitter on it. So if you walk by, you think we're like a 14-year-old girl who lives here or something. But then you walk in and it's like concert posters and metal music blaring and just dark and dingy and whatnot. So I kind of like that, honestly. Like what I'm trying to say, she's very crafty.
Yes.
So I reach out to her and like, have you ever made patches before, like woven patches? And she's like, no, but I can try. I was like, awesome. Here's the span. Here's the logo I want, which is their rock shit logo, which is on their hat, which is where I got it from. Just did a screenshot of that. And I was like, can you make me a patch like this? I want it to be a white background with black text and black skull with a black border, if you can do that. He's like, oh, I'll try. So she made one, took a photo of it and sent it to me. He's like, well, I tried. It didn't come out quite good. And I looked at it. I'll throw a photo up here. And it just made me giggle. Like, I was like, that is fucking hideous, but I love it.
Never mind.
This is exactly what I wanted, but also nothing like I wanted. So she's like, I didn't say that to her, but like, I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And she's like, and it was. I would have easily put that on here, and I would have been so happy to have it.
It was a little big, though.
It was a little big, yeah. Big. And she's like, well, let me try one more technique I just found. It's not woven or anything. It's just like, it seems like it's ironed on, basically.
I think so, yeah.
Let me try one more thing. And then she basically reversed what I wanted. She did the black background with the white text and everything. It's like, how about this? I was like, that's even better. It's the one that's on here. It was pretty big. I did cut it into a circle to put on there as best I could. And then same thing, just put it on there and sewed it on and whatnot. And we talked about this during the podcast, but that we did for Headbangers Boat that will be out at some point.
That part will probably be Thursday or next week.
Yeah, so this will be published the week this is published. If you're watching this after that, then whatever, it should be out by then. But we talked about that we're at a show, one of the sets, and a guy just walks up behind me and is like, hey, can I take a photo of your vest, your patch real quick? I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I look behind me and he's like, I think he's in the band. I've seen his photo like up on the website. And he's like, is that your band? And he's like, yeah, it is. I didn't know we made patches. And I was like, I've been waiting to fucking say this. I told you over and over. Like,
you're like, I can't wait for somebody to ask me about their patch.
It's like, this is exactly what I'm going to say. And it's like, first I had to respond to this question. It's like, no, you don't have patches. And the phrase that I wanted to say was, my mommy made it for me. And it made me so happy.
But you said that to him.
I did.
You're like, my mommy made it.
I did. And he seemed so giddy about it. And it was
He's
awesome.
Like, that's awesome.
So I love that. And again, I don't know. It was awesome.
Yeah.
this was a lot of fun making. I can't
Yeah,
wait. Like
I can't wait to see what next year's comes out like.
Yeah, so I've already got ideas. It might be changed a little bit, but the same sort of format's going to change.
Yeah.
Top of the bill is going to be at the top of the vest and working your way down as long as it fits, and that's what this one did and last year's did. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for joining in, and we'll catch you at the next show, hopefully.
Yep.
Maybe
Bye.
in this vest.